This is Lions on Tap, a weekly look inside the Lions Den. Highlights, interviews, and a look ahead to what's next for the Leos. Now, here are your hosts, Matt Baker, Nick Kowalski, and Bob the Moj Marjanovic.
Welcome to BC Lions on Tap. Tonight we are coming to you from Legends Pub at Blundell in Garden City in Richmond. Of course, the Jensen brothers out here, Glenn owning this place. Glenn, Greg, Roddy Jensen. I always call them the setters of the Western Lacrosse Association. And we welcome you to the program. A big thank you to the staff here at Legends, our second visit this year. And a big thank you to the folks from Molson Coors Canada for helping support this show. Of course, it's the Moj, Bob Marjanovic, along with Matt Baker and Nick Kowalski from the Lions social media team. And also Lions cornerback Patrice Rene standing by. We will talk to Patrice about the game in Hamilton. But first, I'll throw it to you, Bakes. 33-30 victory in Hamilton. Considering what happened the week before versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, it was a badly needed win and a nice way to win that game. I would rather have won the game that way than having won it, say, 30-6.
Yeah, there's going to be games like that. You know, championship teams have to find ways to win any way possible. We've seen this Lions team win convincingly. We've seen games that have been close in the fourth quarter, but then the Lions pull away. But I tell you, though, I was just starting to, look up my old files I have, history files. When was the last time the BC Lions played back-to-back road games? I want to say it was 1991, the Flutie year. They had like 7 overtime games.
Whoa. Back-to-back road games?
Overtime games.
Okay, overtime. Yeah. Thank you.
Because, of course,
I said back-to-back road
but
games.
Thankfully, Sean White to the rescue, Mr. Clutch. We didn't have to worry about looking up that history. But, yeah, great to have this team win a game like that. Bit of a 5 lead changes in the second half alone, I think. So,
Nick Kowalski, you were down on the sidelines doing tremendous work as usual for the Lions Twitter and Instagram accounts, or I should say X. What was the feeling like on the sidelines?
Well, it was a rowdy crowd, first and foremost.
It's Hamilton, man. What do you expect? It's greasy.
It was my first game out there.
He hadn't been there before.
You've never been to the Hammer before?
Not with the BC Lions, right? We didn't go there last season, so it was a great crowd. And then ultimately you got Dane Evans going in there and made them a quiet crowd after that. But, yeah, like you said, that's why you pay Sean White. You got a kicker that, before it's even in, he knows, we know that it's going through the uprights, and I think shooing for an all-star at this point, right? But so clutch.
Patrice Rene, Lions cornerback, has also joined us here tonight at Legends Pub. Patrice, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Just your thoughts on the 33-30 win in Hamilton.
It was a big one for us, honestly. I think, we talked about how we haven't beaten 2 teams in the league, Toronto and Hamilton being one of them before the game. Mm-hmm. So that was definitely on our mind, and having them come to our place and doing what they did in the fashion that they did, I think it was very important and big for us to go out there in a competitive game and come out victorious. They're a really good team, really well coached. They've been playing some really good ball lately, so it's really nice to have under a belt and come out of the Hammer with that victory, man.
And it's crazy, too. Almost the exact same scenario as the week before.
Yeah.
Right? You talk about learning your lessons, so to speak. I mean, usually It takes you a while to sometimes apply those lessons that you've learned, but man, oh man, Keon Hatcher caught that football, boom, down he went. Hey. Right? I mean, the same scenario, and at this time there's a second left on the clock. Sean White trots out 48-yard field goal. The rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah, that's definitely a feeling last week that we had against Winnipeg that we never wanted to have again, right? So we talked about the things we had to adjust and get better on, and that's definitely awareness. That's definitely something we emphasized, and Hatch did a really good job. Dane did a really good job. The offense did a really good job executing, and then White, he does what he does best, right? White Rock legend. BC legend, and he just nailed it.
It's interesting when you look at this team, the fact that it will finish its season before Winnipeg plays again, right? And Rick Campbell has made no bones about it. The head coach of the Lions has said, hey, we're putting all the heat on Winnipeg that we can, and that means, of course, going into Hamilton, getting a win there, and hopefully getting a win against the Calgary Stampeders on Friday. So there's not going to be any of this, let's rest a couple of guys, see this, that. It's just business as usual to finish.
100%. And I think, we're right where we wanted to be. Our goals are still in front of us, right? We still have the chance to finish number 1 in the West Division, depending on how Winnipeg does. So we definitely have to apply pressure, and, we hold our destiny in a sense, right? So go out there this Friday, take care of Calgary, do what we have to do, and, watch how Winnipeg responds. And that also puts pressure on them to not really take those next couple games easy. It makes them have to play their guys and makes them have to compete really hard as well, tiring them out a little bit before the playoffs. So you can't really write it any better than this.
6-3 on the road. That's pretty rare. How much pride does the team take in the fact that winning twice as many as you lost away from home in any environment?
A lot of pride. That's something that's special, and like you said, it doesn't really happen that much, right? And winning in general is hard, but winning on the road in this league is very, very difficult. And to have double the amount of wins and losses on the road is something that, we're really proud of. And, the goal every week is to come out victorious. But once you're on that road, there's a lot of things that you can't control. There's a lot of different factors that you can't control. And to come out of that with a win is something special. So we definitely take a lot of pride in that. As
a member of the defense, how jacked up do you get seeing Josh Woods take that interception, help open the floodgates there? Because kind of a slow start for both teams, right? Yeah. And then that play kind of opened things up.
Very exciting. I mean, as our defense, man, especially with RP at the head of the whole operation, it's just we have a lot of confidence in our guys and a lot of confidence in what we do. And, Josh makes plays like that at practice all the time. We see guys flying around all the time. So when we see those plays, we're not surprised, but it's just more so excitement. Like, yeah, this is what we talk about. This is what we practice. This is what we grind. And, we say we're the best. We want to show that we're the best. So when we make plays like that, we're kind of just, letting everybody know that this is what we do. So seeing him do that and returning it and scoring, kind of getting us on the board and kind of getting the ball rolling for us as a team is definitely something special. And as a defense, when you're able to bring that energy to the game and bring that energy to the team, that's all we want to do.
I know one of the beauties about having these longer road trips is that when you win, it's that much more fun. It was definitely a fun plane ride and a fun locker room afterwards.
Most definitely.
With yourself being a first-year Lion, can you just talk about the experiences you've had with not only the DB room but the whole locker room in general?
Definitely one of the most unique and special experiences that I've had so far in my football career, especially as a football team, man. We definitely have a really, really close locker room, more so close than I've ever been around. And that's something that's really special. And it just speaks to just our culture, right? We have the FTC shirts. We're very prideful about that for the culture. And we really believe in that. And we have such a welcoming, loving locker room. There were guys, we have no ego issues. Guys are always, wanting the best for each other, always want to see each other succeed. But ultimately, we love to compete. And I think that's the fire between that. What we have is we're very friendly, very loving, but we love to compete. And we push each other to compete at the highest level. We hold each other accountable. So when we have that and you have that foundation and you work hard and you go to practice each and every day and you get those wins, it's something that you love to celebrate, right? You love to celebrate with your guys. And our coaches do a really good job of allowing us to be ourselves and allowing us to have that opportunity to celebrate. RP always tells us, man, if we make a play, he's out there with us. He's going to be on the field celebrating with us. And that's just how we are. That's how we play the game. At the end of the day, it's a game and we love to have fun. And that's what we love to do since we're kids. And to be able to have success and being able to enjoy it is a whole lot of fun.
Lion cornerback Patrice Rene is our guest. We're coming to you tonight from Legends Pub in Richmond. Patrice, your first year with this organization, how would you categorize year number one as a Lion?
Special. Just special for me in a lot of ways, just personally, just having to deal with some things that I've dealt with injury-wise and being in Winnipeg, coming to a new team right now, and before the season, not really knowing where I end up, and coming to a team like this where we're having success, where we have guys that are really, really talented. I think that's one thing, too, that I really love about our team is just there's so much talent around that every day you're going in the office and competing and learning. And we have a really good core of veterans that are willing to teach us things, whether to take us under our wing, guys like TJ Lee, Gary Peters, Vernon Adams, the list goes on of guys, Marcus Sales, that have just been around and are willing to help the younger guys. We're willing to help the new guys in general. So it's just been very special. And having Coach Rick, too, and the coaching staff that we have, I'm blessed, man. I can't, ask for a better situation to be in, and it's just a lot of fun.
Training camp, Kamloops, I'm on the sidelines during a scrimmage or a practice, and I think you were, to Gary Peters, you were 0 on the FIG scale at that point. We'll talk about the FIG scale off there, but FIG scale basically is 0 is you don't even know the guy's name.
Yeah.
1 is you know the number. Yeah. 2 is you actually know the guy's name and number, right? So I think you're still at stage 0, but Peters just looked, he said, that guy there, he goes, he's a baller. He has so much confidence.
Yeah.
And, for a veteran to say that about a rookie, to me, kind of tells that, because as Julio Caravetto always says, the players know.
Yeah.
Right? And that's one thing that, it seems you have a lot of in your game. Yeah. There's a lot of confidence and a lot of swing.
100%. I think that's something that helps me out on the field. And I think as any athlete, as a competitor, once you play with confidence, you play a lot better. And I think for me, it's just trusting my abilities, right? I know I've played a lot of football throughout my life, and I know what I'm able to do, and I know how I can help a team, and just wanting to be out there, man, just want to contribute. That's just my passion, to just help the team win, and whatever way I could do that, I'm willing to go out there and do it and compete at the highest level. And when I step on the field, I step with that confidence that, I'm one of the best out there. I deserve to be out here, and it's just time to show it off.
All right, we'll talk a little bit about your journey in the game of football on the other side. We've got some good intel about the East Ottawa Generals
He did
and a certain Oklahoma drill.
Oh, man.
All of that. Patrice Rene is our guest. It's the Moj Bob Marjanovic along with Matt Baker and Nick Kowalski from the Lions social media team. We're coming to you from Legends Pub. If you're in the neighborhood, pop on by. Blundell and Garden City in Richmond, of course. Home of the Jensens, Glenn, Greg, Roddy, all of them. They call them the Sutters of the Western Lacrosse Association. Much more coming up with Patrice Rene of the Lions. You're listening to BC Lions on Tap on AM 730 and the Lions Audio Network.
Now, back to Lions on Tap. Here again is Bob Marjanovic.
Welcome to Lions on Tap on AM 730 and the Lions Audio Network. Tonight we're coming to you from Legends Pub, corner of Blundell and Garden City in Richmond. Big thank you to the staff here, Glenn Jensen and his crew, and of course our good folks at Molson Coors Canada for their support as well. It's the Moj Bob Marjanovic along with Matt Baker, Nick Kowalski from the Lions social media team, as well as Lions cornerback Patrice Rene. He is our guest. A reminder that Nick Kowalski's world-famous trivia will be coming up in the final segment, so looking forward to that. It's always something that's anticipated. But back to Patrice Rene. It's interesting. I was reading about your bio, Haitian descent.
Yes, sir.
You and Moj probably. Have you got Moj, have you dialed him up to any Haitian places? Because he's hooked on going to Haitian places now on the road.
I'm not going to lie. It's tough out here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
We're not that lucky with the Haitian food, but on the road we've been to a couple different ones. I know when we went to not Montreal, but.
No, he raved about the place in Montreal.
Yeah, we ended up going to Jamaica. I went to Jamaican spot in Montreal because of GP. He wanted some Jamaican so bad, so we went to the Jamaican spot, but Q was like, I'm about to go get the Haitian food, so he went. But in Toronto, we had some really good Haitian food, and then as well as Edmonton was pretty good. Yeah, so we've gone a couple places, but one of my favorite foods for sure.
Well, I'll tell you, I love Jamaican food. There's actually in Kamloops, a training camp.
Yeah,
there's a place called the Jamaican Kitchen.
Okay,
over in the north end, you got to check out that stuff. So you come to Canada, you're 3 years old?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And you didn't really play football until, 14, 15? Or was it that old?
I was actually, 7. Around 6, 7.
Okay.
So I was young. But growing up, we didn't, in the family household, we didn't really talk about football. We didn't really know what football was until, I got introduced to it with my friends.
And you got East Ottawa Generals.
Yep. So
your first practice, you do the Oklahoma drill.
Yeah.
You get laid out, and you're like, this ain't happening again?
Yeah, pretty much. So we had, where I was living at, we were living in community housing and stuff, so all the kids were always outside playing, and they always used to do after-school programs for us to stay out of trouble and whatnot, and our local club team, East Ottawa Generals, were hosting tryouts, and a couple of my buddies had already played. They're telling me, you have to sign up and play. And I'm like, I don't really know nothing about football. I've never played football, but I had to get this waiver signed by my mom. So I go home. I'm like, Mom, you just got to sign this piece of paper, please. I'm trying to go play. She's like, what you talking about? And she's like, I'm not doing it. I'm like, please just sign the piece of paper. She signs the piece of paper. I run to the field, get my pads, fresh set of pads. First time ever wearing football pads, and I get a helmet. And I'm with all my boys in there. They're all laughing and whatnot. And then coach, we get to practice, warm up. And then he says, all right, Oklahoma drill. And I'm like 6 or 7 at the time.
So I got a timeout here.
Yeah.
Like when I said Oklahoma drill, I'm assuming you're starting at 14 or 15.
No.
Who runs an Oklahoma drill for 6-year-olds?
Hey, that's when football, the good old days. That was the good old days of football when we really had to get it. When we still
Not
had
anymore.
when we still had the earpieces that attached, and you had to clip them on, and you had the chin strap that attached. We had no zippers. You still had the strings on the shoulder pads. So that's when football was at its
Are you
peak.
telling me all that's changed?
It has, which is crazy to say. I'm getting old, right? This is crazy. But yeah, I remember he was just like, we're doing a little version of Oklahoma drill, so we had to lie down on our backs. He'd blow the whistle, get up. We'd have a blocker and a tackler, and then a safety and a runner, right? So blows the whistle, I get up, and I get smacked. Like when I tell you my clock clean, like I get smacked, and I fall on my butt. And then I remember the first thing I thought was, I got to do this again. Like that was embarrassing. Like, nah, like there's no way. So I get up and we do it again. And then from that point on, I just fell in love with the game. And just being out there with my boys and being with my friends, running around, laughing, just didn't look back ever since.
So your college journey began at North Carolina, 3 years. You played in an Orange Bowl.
Yep.
What was that whole experience like?
It was great, man. North Carolina was one greatest places, one of the best decisions I've done to decide to go to college there straight out of high school. So I was actually there for 5 years. So I did my freshman year there. So then from freshman to my senior year, ended up getting hurt, turning my ACL my senior year, and then coming back for an extra year, so my 5th year. So I did a 5th year there. But it was great, man. We was lucky enough to play with some really good players. Made it to 3 bowl games, the Orange Bowl, the Military Bowl, and then the El Paso Hyundai Bowl, which was crazy out in El Paso, Texas.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a really good experience. Had an opportunity to be coached by a lot of great coaches: Gene Chizik, Mac Brown, Dre Blah, Charlton Warren, and played with some really, really good players. The list goes on. So it was a really, really good, fun experience for me, and I loved every moment of it.
And then you're also someone who has a national descent, being classified as Canadian, but
Yep.
obviously playing D1 football in America. Like, that
Yep.
was just a decision you thought was the best route for you at the time?
Yeah, so growing up, actually when I was about 14, so after 10th grade, I was presented with the opportunity when football was going well, and I was getting a lot of attention from the schools down south. I saw a couple of schools where actually fly up to Canada to come watch me play. But unfortunately, for some reason, they didn't really give us a lot of credit based off our competition, and they weren't really credifying like what I was doing out there on the field. So a lot of coaches were saying they'd rather see me play against American competition. So after 10th grade, when I was about 15, I decided to go finish my high school career down south in Virginia. I ended up attending Episcopal High School. It was at a boarding school in Northern Virginia. I played for a coach called Pano Valgaris, which was my guy. I owe a lot to him. And so I did my junior and senior year of high school over there. Did really well. Had a lot of success out of high school. Showed my worth and showed that I could ball. It didn't really matter where I was at. I was still going to get that work done. So I from there, had the opportunity to go to any school I wanted to, and ended up going to North Carolina. But definitely having that opportunity was something that I knew I wanted to do, and it was different. But decided I had to follow my dreams. Right?
Why North Carolina?
At the time, first the weather. Being from Ottawa, right, growing up in Canada, I was like, man, listen. The first chance I get away from the cold, I'm taking it. So all the schools I was looking at, they might not know that. I was looking at Wisconsin, Boston College, all these up to North Carolina. They're like, yeah, is he coming? I'm like, probably not. I'm trying to go somewhere warm. So the weather was definitely one of the main things. And then just the campus and the school itself. I remember, getting recruited. I was always told, to go to a school where I would feel comfortable being there. That I would just enjoy, not just about football, right? Where I'd be somewhere where I would really enjoy my time and really, really feel comfortable at. So I really liked the school itself. They had a really good academic program, one of the best, academic programs in the nation over there. Had really good, majors that I want to pursue. And then the team, we were a young team at the time. They had just came back from the ACC championship, losing to Clemson. And I had the opportunity to play early. That's one thing that they said. If I came there and showed what I had to show, I'd have the chance to play early, and all held true. So it was a really, really good decision for me.
Couple questions, and we're going to keep this tight because we're up against the break. But you've gone through a lot of adversity. When you went to Rutgers for your 5th year,
Yep.
North Carolina as well, you got hurt.
Yep.
Your junior year, so you
Yep.
tore your ACL, you messed up your hip. How special is it for you to overcome all of that adversity and get to where you're at now?
Oh, man, that's just part of the journey, right? Like you mentioned, multiple injuries in college, and then last year hurting my patella. It's actually just finished my 1-year anniversary in August, right? I had surgery a year ago on my other knee. So that's just part of my journey, man. Just speaks to who the type of guy I am. I'm always a believer in Jesus Christ, and I think that he puts me in the positions that he knows I can handle. And to be in this situation right now, I'm just very grateful and thankful for the opportunity, right, to be able to keep going, keep playing, keep doing the game that I love. And at the end of the day, it's about what you go and react, right? You're gonna get knocked down. Life is not gonna be easy, but it's up to you, right? You can either sulk, feel sorry for yourself, or accept what's going on and try to challenge it. So I've always kind of took that approach in everything I do and keep going.
All right, we'll keep you around for one more segment. You can listen in on Kowalski's trivia. You might even chip in if you know the answer. We need all the help
we'll
we
see.
can get.
We'll
Rutgers
see.
trivia.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is BC Lions on Tap. Of course, our guest is Lions cornerback Patrice Rene. We're coming to you tonight from Legends Pub at the corner of Blundell and Garden City in Richmond. If you're in the neighborhood, pop on by. Again, this is BC Lions on Tap on AM 730 and the Lions Audio Network.
Now, back to Lions on Tap. Here again is Bob Marjanovic.
It's the Moj along with Matt Baker, Nick Kowalski from the Lions Audio team. We are coming to you, their social media team, coming to you tonight from Legends Pub at the corner of Blundell and Garden City in Richmond. Big thank you to Glenn Jensen and, of course, the folks at Molson Coors Canada. Our guest tonight is Lions cornerback Patrice Rene. Patrice, before we get to Nick Kowalski's world-famous trivia, which is, well, there are people from Abbotsford to Angola are waiting for this. Calgary, Friday night. What should Lions fans expect?
They should expect a really good game. A Lions team that's fired up and that's excited, to show that we could play good football going into the playoffs. This is not going to be a day off for us, right? So it's going to be a good one. Calgary's always a good matchup. They're very well coached, have a lot of really good players, talented players. By the end of the day, I think we have our goals in front of us, and we're very hungry as a team. So we're expecting all the Lions fans to come out Friday night, show us some support, and come watch a really good football game.
All right, Matt Baker, Friday night, special night, right?
Blackout night, come celebrate Halloween. You and Julio are dressing up. I've heard reports from all the insiders.
Julio's dressing up as yours truly. I'm dressing up as Julio.
There you go. Scary stuff. Okay, there might be some prizes for the best costumes. We're also encouraging fans to wear black if you don't want to wear a costume. Backyard party, 4 o'clock, $5 Molson Coors beverages. Like I said, there's a costume contest, so dress up, celebrate Halloween. Might be some Halloween food items as well. We're working on some stuff. So
right.
BCLions.com/blackout night.
All right, Kowalski, it's your show now.
Final game of the season, we're going to be looking back at some all-time Lions seasons.
Ooh.
So for starters, I'm just going to throw this one out there. Can you guys name the best season record in Lions franchise history?
2007, 14-3-1.
Oh, Baker's got this on lock. That's exactly right. So that's the only time. That's the only time I've ever won.
Because I thought about this like last week when it was still when it was still alive to go for it. But yeah.
Bake, you take over. I'm going to grab it at Molson Coors.
Yeah. Well, lost the Western Final that year. That one still ticks
We'll go with
me
this.
off,
So 14 times the Lions have won at least 12 games in a season.
Okay.
So we have this year's one. 07's obviously another, so I gave you guys 2.
1983.
1983.
1985.
83 is incorrect. 85 is correct.
2006.
1988. 88 or 89.
06 is correct.
1999.
99 is correct.
1989.
89 is incorrect.
2012.
2012 is correct.
2088
is incorrect.
What do you mean?
You're striking
out. Grey
out.
Cup that year.
Didn't win 12 games that year, though.
All right.
Remember, there was only a 16-game season for a time, so there might have been some 11 and 5s in there.
Yeah, I got you.
How many more do we have to name?
You've rattled off 6, I believe.
So how many more?
6?
So there'd be...
and this is at least 12?
8 more, yeah.
At least 12 wins.
Yeah, so you got 06, 12, 23.
2004.
2004 is correct.
2005.
2005 is correct.
We said
2011?
11's correct. They started off 0-5 there.
Yeah. 2011 was 11 and 7, not 12.
Yeah, so
this is at least 12
At
wins.
least 12, yeah. So
2011 is not on the list.
Yeah, that's what I said. Incorrect.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
So
all right, back on track here. Back on track.
There's a couple of recent ones you guys are missing out on.
2022, of course.
Yeah, last season.
Yeah. 2016.
16's correct. They lost
12 and 6, right?
They lost to the Stampeders in the West Final.
So we're on a good. We got 2 minutes here. Mike says.
You're missing 5. One's recent. The one that's recent, they lost in the West Final. Oh no, yeah, they lost in the West
2008.
Final. Incorrect.
Ooh.
1997.
Actually, my bad. That's 07. So you guys got that one already. So
1997.
Yeah.
Listen to Patrice.
97 is incorrect.
Damn.
07 was the one I mentioned first.
So we're going to the 80s now. You're missing 2 in the 80s.
85.
85 year to your Aldo.
81.
81's incorrect.
83.
83 is incorrect.
82 then.
Incorrect. You guys are just missing them all.
88.
88 is also incorrect.
Oh,
1980.
87.
87.
87 was a home Western Final loss. Was that at least 12?
To Edmonton.
I said 87 earlier. I went through 87, 88, and 89.
You're just naming off all the years.
Well, what do you expect?
Do you remember what about the first time they did it? It's a long time ago.
64.
Oh, you're 1 year off. They lost
63.
63.
Yeah, lost to Hamilton.
Lost the Grey Cup to Hamilton, but won 12 games that year.
Big Roy remembers that year back there.
So there you go. That's a lot
all
of
right,
successful
good job.
years.
That was good. Remember, 14-3-1. That was
impressive.
Missed out on a chance to face Jamie Stoddard and the Blue Bombers in the Grey Cup that year. Remember, Saskatchewan won the West Final here, and we won't remind it anymore. But anyway, shout out to Richmond. Yes.
All right. That's a wrap. Patrice Rene, thanks for stopping by and seeing you're totally involved in that trivia contest. That was riveting.
History lesson.
I just shot the year I was born. I thought it
99,
not a special year. Only for
Matt
my parents.
Baker, Nick Kowalski, thank you as much. Thank you to Glenn Jensen and the staff here at Legends Pub, Blundell and Garden City in Richmond. That's a wrap for us tonight. You know what I'm going to tell you before we get out of here. Do what you got to do. Just do us a favor. You've been listening to BC Lions on Tap on AM 730, the BC Lions Audio Network.